Hey, hey, how's everyone doing? Hopefully you can hear me okay. Should be all right. So I hope everybody's having a nice holiday season. However, if you celebrate, if you do, if you don't, I used to. I kind of just try to stay celebrative in all my moments or just go through them, right? Be present. So welcome if you are visiting for your first time, and absolutely welcome back if you're coming back for more. Metaphysical Mama. And just to vaguely introduce myself, I just channel information like you happened upon this channel. So I allow spirit, right, or divine guidance to flow through me, through the air, through the water, very metaphysical. It's all about, right, just kind of being in the moment and not worrying so much about being so logical and intellectual and defining everything, having an answer and a name and an emotional attachment to the word or words we hear or use or see, right, or think. So it's kind of learning how to let go and allow while still, right, expanding your mind and becoming more intellectual, actually, right? Yeah, you become more wise because wisdom is timing, and knowledge is power, but knowledge depends on how we use that, right? Energy, right? I mean, these are beautiful little salt balls, but I could, right, like potentially pick one up and whip one at somebody and it would do some pretty decent damage, if I, or just even to the wall or something. So, anything can become a weapon, including our mind, right? Which is where we're going to define today's reading, because we're going to get into motherly like energies, right? Sometimes, right, we could be missing motherly type energies, nourishment, nurturing, support, the ability, right, to bend and breathe. Like, this plant here is pretty feminine, very patient, working with me. If it was so strict and it was like just this or that and that's it, then I'd be, it wouldn't still be, I mean, it's not the most like, right, like abundant, green, fruitful looking plant. But for me, it's a fucking absolute winner. I gotta do a little trimming on it. I love that plant, and I have two of them. I'll show you. My other one is, its twin is over here in the window. In the window. So, but plants and I, if you've been to my channel before, 333, patience with plants. I have them, but I feel so. Look at, he's doing so good. It's my little geranium. So I don't have the most green thumb for things that are growing. I'm like, I tend to not be the best gardener. So that's another thing. Landlords and mothers or stepmothers, and right, the 404, governess, the governor, the capital G's, the government, big G, little g, what begins with G. Also big M and little m. Munchausen, wannabe mamas, and the military, which I'll respect. Just, things need to be addressed. Boo-boos need to be addressed, and we need to get to the origin of, right, the vibration of something. We have to swim through it. It's not just A, B, C, and this is the answer. Just like the virus, right? It's not just a cut, black and white, dry, this is the way it is, and right. All right. Cosmology is the comprehension or the understanding or just the beginning awareness, 505, right? That we are what the stars are made of, right? It's like if the weather's crappy out, does that affect your mood? Right? Your mood is feminine, your emotion, right? Which kind of mood are you in? And does it change depending on the environment you're in? The people that you surround yourself with, whether in workspace, home. Sometimes we're stuck, right, living with certain people, places, or things where, right, it's like that's where we got put in order to have these experiences that we've all had, right? So now we're going through them all, 555, and taking a look at. But one, right, self has to be willing to take a look. It's like if I got a boo boo, right, I got to take a look at the boo boo. I can't just be like, oh, no, it's not there. I mean, and also learning to have and use discernment. 616. I hope you can hear me okay. So I wanted to actually, so before I came on, Nine of Swords came out. So there's a lot of this feeling like, what did I do? And wanting to just, right, die or take an easy way out. Take a, right, a shot, and then there's another thing coming up to, right? It's like, because this is internal. You know, COVID feeds off of sugar. We were speaking to a lot of different people over the weekend, and I'm so grateful for all the knowledge I was able to absorb from the various, different walks of life, family and friends and etc. that we connected with, nurses and, other, again, a whole bunch of us, we the people, speaking about our experiences and sharing our knowledge and listening, right? So one of the things that was mentioned was how COVID loves, right, sugar, which is alcohol, or, I gotta look that up. I bet heroin and pain medicine, I wonder if that is also kind of mimic and show up as a sugar in the body. I'm aware there's so many people that are addicted or, right, were on any kind of pain medication or heroin or from years past, right? Just all the medications, pills, and people that are on medications from, right, the big pharma, again, the ma from the farm, right? There's a thing called Munchausen syndrome. It's a mental illness, and it's actually a form of child abuse. So it's like, right, the fallen ones coming into the daughters of men, into the innocent minds, or making people feel guilty or like they have no choice, kind of a forceful nature, and appearing as though they care. I mean, it seems like, right, they have an answer and they care. Are you okay? They want to invest in you, right? Influence. Think of those words. If someone wants to invest and right, influence you in a manner of, right, it's important to have discernment. Does that vibration feel, it's like, right, here comes, like, y'all seen Snow White? It's the witch showing up with the apple, just like in the Garden of Adam and Eve, except this time it's a vaccine. They always use a, right, which is just about, again, discernment. No wrong or right. It's about being in it's like, right, like playing your instrument so that we're all playing together, right, in harmony best we can. It's like sometimes you want to be like like, right, I want to sit still and be all, and that's okay too, right? We wouldn't have anything that seems new if we didn't have, right, people that moved out of the so-called, right, we need creators, or we wouldn't have anything creative and inventors and people that mix things up, right? Chefs and actors and narrators and right? 201s, right? Like making decision and right. Matrix came out over the weekend. I got to see Matrix for Christmas. That was pretty fucking awesome. 1044. Resurrections. Right? So people want to know the truth. Most people want to stay asleep. They want to take the blue pill. They want to pretend they want to go back to normal. What's so-called normal? Because it's easier to pretend and wear a mask. Munchausen syndrome. Pretend we're sick. We could just take a pill or a shot and make everything okay, rather than deal with, right, the boo-boo that's really going on inside. And being willing to have an open mind, because there's so much more. It's not all doom and gloom. You know. It was 11:29 when I said that, 11:11. But people, human nature is comfortable, right? We could say it's laziness or weakness, but it's comfort because we love the people we love, or we're comfortable in our environment, or we feel safe when somebody tells us it's going to be okay, even if it's not, right? But the thing is, it is okay. We just have to deal with it either way on some level and be a little more playful, right? Allow, see, like there's like wind blowing, her hair is blowing, right? Allowing movement, just a little bit of movement. Look, they made it light. Just a little movement of my hand. Right? We don't have to feel like the rabbit stuck in the bed with all these swords coming at us. Right? We got to deal with all these thoughts. Right? The mental illness. And allow ourselves to feel. In order to do that, everyone needs time and space to process. Right? Restoration. Relaxation and drive, like, so you are free too. What do you feel like doing in your now moment? You know, this is birthing, a birthing process. So what happens when a human is birthing a baby? Right, go through contractions in labor up until the actual birth. And then when we're birthing, I'm talking about the birthing process, because that's what we're in, right? Going through the different time tunnels, or however you want, right? Timelines, wormholes, stargates, portals, birth canals, right? It's like chutes and ladders, snakes and ladders, right? These are terms of words we use in order to relate to, right? And come up with stories, whether in our heads or on screen or in a play or in a book, or, right? Some kind of manner or form, but being respectful of the technology, of our emotion, of the words we use, and what is and what isn't, and allowing, right? Because a lot of people are going off of immature feelings. So immature emotional bodies, very impulsive, which I could relate, right? And when we are in fear, we can be very impulsive. We don't know what to do. Look, we got King. He's like, great, floating it. That's the flood. We got to deal with the cards that we've been dealt and hold on to what's in our cup, right? Respect your own soul. Respect your body that's encapsulating your soul and your emotional body. Don't let the emotional body overwhelm you and carry you away to sea or overcome you. And then we're fucked up mentally and all mercury. It's like eating too much fish in the ocean. Over emotional. And that's what the virus loves. It's like alcohol, sugar, codependent nature of a mental mind creates the physical body, and an emotional, immature, codependent body. That's infestation of parasite to nom, 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 nom. You're producing an acidic environment full of sugar, like producing your own alcohol, right? Turning the blood to wine. The body's full of acid, which is then why it wants to eat, right? Fatty foods or comfort foods or fuck or feed the desire of the gut, right? All disease comes from the gut. So it comes codependent. Being a codependent, it's not necessarily about, right, being alcoholic, drinking, drunk, blah, blah, whatever. But most people are, right? How many people went for a pill or a shot or a drink or want to go back to, right? There's fear or the desire or want for what? Right? Comfort. Someone to say, this is okay, this is the answer, this is what it is, blah, blah, right? So Munchausen syndrome by proxy is a mental illness and a form of child abuse. The caretaker of a child, most often a mother, but it could be anybody, right? Anybody that's right, the government, anything that's right, hospital, a nurse, any kind of a man, anything that's in feminine nature, anything that's taking advantage of fallen ones, a draconian, very sly and taking advantage of the innocent minds of others, right? Or their vulnerability or gullibleness, right? That's where we can get into the empath narcissist thing too, right? But what two opposites are going to attract because they're going to feed off one another because there's things missing. So what's missing? All right, we got to ask the right questions and be willing to receive, right, the various, right? There's going to be multiple answers to these questions. How long did it take for us to get here? You never grow old. Got Tom Petty playing in the background. Tired of this town. Oh, hell yes. Your party dress. Sing me a song. All right, so most often it's a mother either makes up fake symptoms or causes real symptoms to make it look like the child is sick. So we're going to get into beyond gypsy comes up under here too. When mothers harm their kids. Not saying nothing about gypsies. That just popped up underneath it. RollingStone.com or something about that. From 2016. Children raised by mothers with Munchausen's by proxy live through blub something all the while hiding the one thing that was keeping him sick. So there's a lot of that going on presently. Look, we got the ancestors here, like, and they're guarded. The Akashics are guarded, right? You and your loved ones are safe. That's another card I pulled earlier, right? Moon messages for Monday. The moon messages were surrender to the divine. What the hell else did I just say? The other one I just said. Oh, Lord. I gotta put them away. But yeah, surrender to the divine. And, ooh. Yeah. So look, as we speak of Munchausen syndrome, we got 9 of Cups. It's like the Archons and the Draconians and Queen of Wands. Speaking of Munchausen syndrome, So those are like right spin webs that have been right falsifying because they're a lot in fear because they've right got bitter waters of wormwood. People that right carry bitterness, and we can all carry right like some bitter emotions and feelings that are connected to right experiences we've gone through. Right? Have you ever had the experience of being with someone or at somewhere and all of a sudden someone says something or something happens or something, whatever, and it reminds you of or something, you smell something and it can bring up a very uncomfortable memory, right? So now you're in a new moment, you're somewhere else, but something brought this, right, not good feeling, uncomfortable, we can say horrible even, we can use those words, right? Feeling up, and now we want to get out of the place we're in. We're uncomfortable in our own skin. So we may want to leave the place that we're at. We may want to not be with that person because something is going on and right, or something, right, the smell of something just remind, right? So it brought us to a very potentially, right, not so much like, right, feeling of I got to get out of here. Too many thoughts and feelings, wanting to escape. Magician. So it could appear, right, we could be feeling very, our heart, right, frightened. And see, Hierophant in reverse, like the Cheshire Cat. So we want to use discernment who we're listening to, because that Munchausen syndrome, right? People making things look like and appear like there's something to worry about and that they have an answer. But do they really care? The attention that caregivers get from having a sick child may encourage their behavior. So they're attention seekers. Right? So the emotional body, again, is very codependent and mature. So it looks for something to feed it, a drink, food, sex, a lie, right? Something to give me something to believe in. So false, 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 but it could appear, right? Again, magician. So it can appear very wise. I'm very shaky today. I've been very shaky. Anybody else? Poor Joe, poor Papa, Uncle Papa Joe, still in the hospital. Send love and prayers. But he's gonna be okay. He needs, gotten a lot of. Everybody needs love and nurturing and support, but you also can't just give. You can't just keep donating your blood, right? We can't just keep donating our blood, our time, and our energy to, right? Being happy is a decision, right? So learning how to be actually crafty and creative with the little things we have laying around, putting a smile on others' faces, right? Making something out of so-called nothing, right? Is way different than making things appear in vapors, right? All that glitters isn't gold. And someone holding the gold and a stick and a sword, right? Maybe magic, but sometimes otherwise don't make me mad, because then I'm going to take away, right? These cards are so funny. And the mushrooms. Mushrooms keep coming up. So in mushrooms, work with the soils of the earth in order to, right, produce, like, it's like a communication network. It helps let the seeds know where to go. And the water, right, the trees underneath the soil, they all communicate in an underground network. So they pass water to one another, etc., right? To even flow, to make it even, so that they all get what they need. They coexist, right, in harmony. So, but when man wants to try to take control at any cost or else, and use, right, so-called magic, it's like, right, how easy is it to make something go so-called viral, right? To put something in someone else's head and make them think, oh, I have something to fear, right? Or I'm gonna be dead. But dead in the Bible, again, the metaphysical meaning to dead means not awake, not aware, unconscious. That's like being dead, like, right? So we've been dead long enough, right? It's Matrix, resurrections. We want to gently allow ourselves to be, right? To be or not to be. Oh boy, I got a bunch of jumpers. What else is new? Let's see. One sec. You know, we got the usual knock at the door. But we got the High Priestess, oh, and Reverse Seven of Swords. Come in. Sorry. Sorry, Mama. That's okay. Sorry. Kitty duties. So yeah, right. Again, yeah. Others sneaking away with, right? And a lot of us have been separated from our loved ones for a long time due to, right, Munchausen syndrome, or making other people feel like something's wrong with some of us and not, right? So there's a lot of, again, worry because they know that their time is up. And it's not like, oh, your time's up, and ugh. It's like, no, we want you to heal. We want right? It's why would we not want you to heal? But most of them have like a suit, like this is 18 and over, at least, or right, for mature minds that have discernment or that are right, because yeah, a lot of people, a lot of beings, whatever, have like a suicide mission, right? They have like some, because again, the belief that they carry or the consciousness that is weighing on them is so heavy, and they don't have the tools, or they don't think that there's, right, a light, a way to, right, feel better. Isn't that what everybody's looking for? A cure to feel better? But you have to stop poking everything and allow, right, nature to take its course. Again, like birthing, you can't control. You can't be like, nope, nope, baby's not coming out now. It's like when baby, right, when it's time, it's time. It's divine timing. So we have to work with the baby and our body and our breath. Breathe through contractions when we're getting them and rest in between them. Right? So this is really learning to rise our own divine feminine from within. This is inner alchemy, right? And metaphysics is the origin of our being. So getting into our star origins, etymology, the stories, whatever it is, right, that we relate to, right? Being open-minded. Again, creative, right? Like, that's like Grandma Lamb there, but she's creating away like a little, right? Like she's in play school. She has all her crafts and her toys, and She's always making something. And she seems humble and wise. It's like she has seeds, like nuts in jars, and reminds me, it's like my Nana. Every time I pull this card, it's like so my Nana. And my Nana's name was Ursula. For the record. Ursa Major, Ursa Minor, Big Bear, Little Bear, right? That's like grandma, and do you have a grandma? That's a motherly energy. That's safe. Maybe that may be actually could be a trigger. Maybe your grandmother was not very nice. Um, you know, so whatever, if you have a feminine in your life that you can look back, this is more divine masculines, right? The wound of the divine masculine goes deep too. You know how many masculines have had their innocence raped and taken, right? And sexually, but are told to be a man, so they've had to walk around with this buried feeling of, right, their power was taken. But people say knowledge is power, right? So when we're stripped of something, right, when we're children, of our innocence, when we go through abuse in any manner, right, or we've done something to another, right, we carry the pain, the dis-ease with us. Oh, it's really funny. Oh my goodness. Check this out. Oh my gosh, stop it. Look. Right here. It's my hairpin. Okay. And I was just using it to like point on the card before. Look at the bottom. I didn't even... There's like a little gold hairpin. Exactly. Do you see that shit? WTF. You have entered the twilight zone. Oh my gosh. Like, it's so crazy. Look. The only other thing I can say is I have a pink box right there. Oh, that's so funny. Okay. So anyhow. Wow. That's really crazy, right? Wow. Wow. I'm just dumbfounded right now. Whoa. Almost knocked over my tea. Alright, so hopefully you can still hear me okay. Oh, lordy. So, that just blew my mind. Pomegranates. And the pillars, do you see? This is like the chess pieces, and them using mother and daughter as pawn. That's like the word Cancer, right? So astrologically, Cancer is the zodiac sign, and it also represents mother and the daughter. Right? A lot of the Piscean age was an age of masculine dominance. Actually, there's another thing that we should probably but it had to be that way because they go off the Big Bang Theory, right? Nuclear fusion, which is after the Big Bang, which is after two magnets smashed together, right, the womb, the divine feminine, from the, right, Empress mind, which we all, right? If you have any thought we have a positive, and there's going to be a negative on the other side. If we have a negative thought, there's going to be a positive on the other side. So we're always building both sides. We may not be aware of the other. But a thought is, again, a positive and a negative. It's magnetic. So they're going to travel away from one another and not have awareness of the other. Until at some point in time, the energy shifts, the pole shift, And now the magnets start to turn, and now they start to travel toward one another, right? Opposites attract. And we got the sign of the cross, or the swastika, or the Big Bang, right? And then the flame. I've been standing in a burning ring of fire. So now we have form, not right? Eve and right fire. Fire! The great gig in the sky. But those two forces came from opposite sides before they fused together. X marks the spot, right? So we could say not necessarily emperor, but well, divine feminine. Well, yeah, they're saying yeah. And then it's right, it becomes the womb and the tomb, because after the crash, right, then lots of things, right, smash, brothers died, right, and other things came to life. Which is a natural birthing process. We end one thing to start another. But it's not, again, all doom or gloom. That's coming from the perception of, right, Earth, Sun, Moon. 3616. So I got a few things opened up here. So we read a little about Munchausen syndrome. And look how cute. My daughter, my little baby Eves for Christmas gave me a little cutie koala bear. They name is Chimney. And it says, ears of candy, eyes so bright, I'll snuggle with you all through the night. So cute, right? And she gave me this beautiful candle that smells like so amazing. And it's a vegan soy wax blend candle, and it's just so nice. So thank you so much, Avie babies. My babesies. So factitious disorder. Let's put you back this way, because we got our stuff over here. Over here. So I had opened my Grimm's fairy tale book too, and look, speaking of death. So it's just blowing out the candle to certain things, right? Like, I'm going to let that go. I don't need to worry about that. I'm just going to let it be. Let it be. And, then keep swimming, and then we'll see. And hypothetically, it's very tricky to allow ourselves to be in that vibration. But that's where we, right, learn to have faith and listen to spirit and our inner voice that's always been there. But we're so busy worrying about others being upset with us, or worrying that we're not going to get enough done, right? Worrying that we won't be accepted by everyone, right? These are legitimate worries. But it's okay to be different. It's okay to be you. Right? So definitely, a little homework assignment from Metaphysical Mama. Please look into Munchausen syndrome. It's M like Mary, U-N like Nancy, C-H-A-U-S-E-N. It's like Munchausen. Munchausen. Okay. Yeah. A mental illness and a form of child abuse. The caretaker. So anybody that's appearing as a caretaker. Also sometimes, right? Like, oh, I'm here to help, and da-da-da, and oh, what's wrong? And oh, you should blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's all great and fine, but now we have a lot of mix-ups and mess-ups instead of, right, We have to clear and detox. There's a reason for, right, fasting. Right? Why do we call breakfast breaking the fast, break, right? Because after we wake up, whenever that is that we then eat, after we fall asleep physically, right? Then whenever, if you wake, I don't really eat as soon as I wake up, ever. 4014. Very rarely. Sometimes I do though. Depends. Generally not. Right? But we're breaking our fast from when we're not eating. Our body's in repair mode. Right? The brain is going through an electrolysis, electromagnetic process, right? All our central nervous system, everything is mending and healing and talking to one another. Again, the underground network, just the same as like in the soils under the plant in order to make it grow, right? The communication happening underneath the growth. But most inject with other hormones, and right, this has been like a hormone war for a long time, right? Drinking cow's milk, everybody's not the same species. We have 22 star origin species on this earth, right, that have. So, and that's what this channel really is truly about also, is right, coming to your, find your origin. But it's going through all of it. In the human, in the, right, each emotion we have is connected to an organ in the body. So whether we're acting out in that emotion or avoiding it, it could have, right, a backlash effect on the physical vessel, right? Mental illness, produce mental illness, a mercurial mind. Right? We're looking for something that we cannot find. It's inside, right? Looking for a blue pill, a shot, or whatever. And sometimes do things work. I'm not a doctor. I'm not saying like that, right? I'm a metaphysician. So, like, again, I work with vibration and origin and etc. So, like, I'm not trying, I'm not here to, again, discernment. Everything's here for a reason. It's just how, right, knowledge is power, how one uses it. How much do we need? How much do people cry wolf, right? Or kind of stomp around like the stepsisters from, right, Cinderella, but I want it, or Veruca from Willy Wonka, I want it now. Or like little frickin', what do you call it? Like little hazer brats from little frickin' sororities and, the fuck are they called? Little cults, little whatever, everything's a cult, but what the fuck are they called? Fucking, the boy groups there, the sororities and ay ay ay. And that's something I cannot think of it at all. I'm sure you're yelling at the screen right now. Anyhow, I'm talking about. Which is no different from like a football team or anything else. They do rituals. They want to belong. They do, lots of hazing things, right? And they use what? Alpha, beta, kappa, gamma, delta, all the Greek alphabet, different levels, right? Mason, just all bricks. Another brick in the wall. But the walls came tumbling down. Berlin Wall fell. Walls of Jericho fell. Gog and Magog. And Lot's wife as well. I'll level you. Got Metallica playing in the background. The Unforgiven. So I done the Unforgiven. So I opened my Grimm's Fairy Tales book. I have this nice old copy, and look, also Confront your opposite polarity. Encounter in Wistman's Wood. And yeah, the woods are different than being on the road or in the streets or the jungle, concrete jungle, or right any way you look at it or cut it. So we got lots of cool cards there. I can't believe that this is like that's so funny and crazy. Oh my goodness. The synchronicities. And yeah, pay attention to the synchronicities. Then you know you're like right on time. Right on time. Just keep swimming, right? Like Bruce Lee said, be like water. So we're coming into, right, birthing from, time is fluid. So we came from, right, a physical sack of, right, fluid. And we were birthed into air, environment, which right is very like painful, right? Why do baby cry when they're born? And right, so the air, which is right, Enlil, like the Sumerian gods, the Anunnaki, Enki, and Enlil represents the air. Right, and then Enki is also like the pharaoh, the government father. Which makes sense too. And then interdimensionally, Enlil would represent, right, the ram's horns, which is the fallopian tubes, which is, right, each side, every other month, right, each side lets go of an egg and it drops into the uterus, right? It's like pinball. And if it happens to be become germinated, right, it's a seed. If the seed gets, right, met by a tadpole, a sperm, a warrior sperm, right, then a baby grows. But so then and that grows within what we call Yaldabaoth, right, the Uranus, the uterus of the mother. The lining, that's like the doula, or the, right, like protecting the baby inside, like Uranus and Gaia, before the baby's born into the world, right? So the mother is considered a ship, a vessel, right? Just like Mariner's Law, like just like cattle, unfortunately, but it's the same thing. A mother is pregnant with a baby. It's like, right, then we have a birth certificate. Same as they trade goods over the seas, right? They have to have a manifest destiny, what's on the ship, the inventory, what's being brought onto the land. So we are that pentacle. So our name in capital letters, right? Our social security number that's attached to it, that's our company that we represent. But we are a living being that has been, all government babies, trust fund babies. Hey, boo-boo. So don't fall for the fuckers that are trying to say, right, oh my gosh, the sky's falling and all this stuff's going on. Yes, it is. However, that's what births life. And it's just part of evolution, spiritual growth, right? Evolving from our human, right, self, which is alcoholic and codependent, right? Like we just had Christmas. That's a representation of, right, worship of the sun, Saturnalia. The sun that comes up over the horizon, right? Horus. And we have sun, right? The noon sun. And we have sun set, right? Sets up Osiris. Doesn't want Osiris to rise. and find his rightful place at the throne, because he keeps going around and around and everybody, right, watches him shine. So he's scared that then he won't be remembered or he won't be loved, and he's already been left alone. That's also Yaldabaoth, or again, like the uterine lining, right? Jesus has a twin. So you are that Jesus child, the white devil running around, right? The garden. And you're birthing your Christ consciousness right now. So, but now the lining, the app, so not to be right so graphic, but important, graphene is something that isn't a vaccine. So graphic arts is important. So to be graphic, sorry, not to be graphic, but it's truth is what it is. So the afterbirth that's born with the baby, when a physical mother gives birth, or any, right, is supposed to remain with the child. It has its own consciousness. And the child is receiving nutrients from the other nature. So until they naturally separate, which sounds gross, but that's what we should be doing. And then the afterbirth should be buried outside under a tree and soil, which sounds like, but otherwise it's not. It needs to go back to Gaia. There's a reason for these things, right? This is why the earth is so out of balance. That's not why, but I mean, there's many reasons why there's imbalance, right? It's just when we're not aware, when we've lost touch with, right, Mother Earth, our inner voice, right, the divine, just who we are naturally inside, the little child inside that's been harmed or that's scared, right, that wants to be loved, that doesn't know if it can trust, right? It hasn't worked out so well so far. But this isn't about like trust. It's about truth and faith, right? Having an idea or a dream, right? I had a dream or a fantasy, right? That's heaven, right? Like, ooh, ice cream sounds good. Heavenly. But can you remain there? No, we have to also deal with what's going on in reality, right? On earth, as above, so below, and what's going on inside in the moon, in the inner earth, right? Allowing ourselves the time and space to balance all the amazing things that we are. And now allow our knowledge and our ancestors and our cosmology, right? Our origins to come in from the stars. Right? That is what we're all made of, after all. It's science. Right? Look up what metaphysics means. What was the other word I looked up before? Ontology. Usually I work with etymology. So ontology, I wasn't aware of what that word meant. I had to look it up. It's part of metaphysics, which is what I, right, perform and work with, but I don't know everything. I don't know fucking really shit. I just work with what I receive in the now moment, right? And it's like, oh, okay, cool. That works in the now, right? It's like if you're cooking a meal, making something, it's like, okay. And sometimes we don't have all the ingredients to make what we thought we were going to make, so we got to get a little creative. We make it a little different than we normally do, or we're out of spice that we usually use, right? So it may taste a little different. It may come out great. Sometimes it may come out not so great, right? It's okay either way. It was an experience, right? Sometimes we get a tummy ache. Sometimes other shit's going on with these motherfuckers with shit. I can't. Anyway. Just keep clearing and detoxing, So, but yeah, look into what these words mean, right? Where the word knowledge, how long is this one? This is a big one. I'm going to come back and do knowledge. It's not that big. Wedlock. No. Oh yeah, let's read it. Why not? And I got Raven here too. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do another video about the etymology and the what have you about knowledge. You know, but to just briefly get into it, yeah, it's right. Naulis, early 12th century, acknowledgement of a superior honor worship. For first element, see no. The second element is obscure, perhaps from Scandinavian and cognate with lock, action, process, found in wedlock. Okay, so right, first sin is right, attaching self to another being and having them carry your name, or vice versa. It's like wearing someone else's clothes. The karma, you wear someone else's karma. From late 14th century as capacity for knowing, understanding, familiarity. Also, fact or condition of knowing, awareness of a fact. Also, news, notice, information, learning. Organized body of facts or teachings. Sense of sexual intercourse. Sense of sexual intercourse is from 1400 Middle English, also had a verb form. Knowledgen, acknowledge, later, find out about, recognize, and to have sexual intercourse with. Compare, acknowledge, which we shall. The word know, K-N-O-W, verb, Old English, knowen, class, 7, strong verb, past tense, knew, past participle, known, perceive a thing to be identical with another. That's important. Lots of shapeshifters, lots of identity theft going on. Perceive or understand as a fact or truth. Perceive a thing to be identical with another. So it looks the same or may seem the same, but it ain't the same. Similarities, but right, and when we get pushed like, oh, but you gotta look over here, deflection or worry, right? Again, Munchausen's syndrome. Those that have already taken something that does not belong to them, about the Page of Pentacles, but they leave a trail always. But they're so worried about the gold or the status or whatever that may be, right? But they don't have a very stable foundation or, right, like a defense going on here. That's why we don't want to pummel them down. We just, right, it's like, you too also just take it easy because this is a birthing process. And they already know what they did. They got to deal with what they did. So just, yeah, allow time and space and take care of you, because that's the most important thing you can do. That's how you heal, and that's how you avoid any, you know, thing really harming you. It's like, don't listen to, right, the bully trying to make up stories and crying wolf, or wanting attention seeking. Okay, so yeah, also be able to distinguish generally, perceive or understand as a fact or truth, right? Perceive, so it seems that way, but it doesn't mean that that is. Opposed to believe, know how to do something. From Proto-Germanic, new. Source also of Old High Germanic, by Schnan, to know. From Pi root, no, to know, like G-N-O, Gnostics, we Gnostics. That goes into knowing. Before that, it's C-N and K-N, and again, perceiving to look like, right, that ring of fire has, right, but there's another, right, divine, there's two, divine, divine feminine is, right, gave birth to the two sons and the daughter, and the cell, with the space in the middle right? The fluid in the middle is the other sun. So really 3 suns, and there is an androgynous one. And the other two, like the Big Bang, it's like, right, the 2 males, the other 2 suns, right? Like the Big Bang Theory, also, that's like Star of David, 2 getting really smashed together with the, well, say with the divine feminine in the middle. Yeah, so I guess, I have to allow a little more time and space for that to process in my quantum computer in my mind here. Okay, so let's see. For pronunciation, CKN, once widespread in Germanic, the verb is now retained there only in English, where it has widespread application, covering meanings that require 2 or more verbs in other languages, such as German weissen, kennen, erkennen, and in part konnen, or erkennen, French connaître, oh jeez, butcher. I can't pronounce all these words. I apologize. Perceive, understand, recognize, savior, have a knowledge of, know how, right? So appear to be the savior. You have to save yourself, right? Don't allow, right, the worry to run you. I got Twisted Sister playing in the background. You're worthless and weak. We're not gonna take it. Okay. Have a knowledge and know how. Latin, skier or skyer. To understand, perceive, cognoscere, get to know, recognize. Old Church Slavonic, znaja, vimi. The Anglo-Saxons also used 2 distinct words for this, the other being witan, see wit, right, having wit. From century 1200 as to experience or live through, meaning to have sexual intercourse with, right? So something that you've experienced. That doesn't always mean 2 physical bodies, although that's, right, where the human mind, right, or in the gut, the solar plexus, and again, the knowledge can take one, right? The power of the adamantine mind, right? The adamant mental, intellectual mind. All right, so let's see. Also found in other modern languages, it is attested from century 1200 from the Old Testament Genesis. Attested from 1540s in colloquial phrases, suggesting cunning or savvy, but often in the negative, like draconian and Pleiadian. Sorry, not sorry. Love you. Reese's. To not know one's ass from one's elbow. 1930. That's funny. And the 2 suns, right, split in 2. Like if you look behind you, right, that's the ass. And the elbow is like, right, the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's the little corner of universe that we live in here. The little Goldilocks zone. It's like if you have, like, you ever see like uncle, if, right, somebody got you in a headlock. So your wrist to your elbow to your shoulder, that's 3% human, right? Wants to grab everything and hold it and wedlock knowledge, right? Grab it, right? The ass wants to grab everything and squeeze it and take it and make it mine, and I'm gonna love it and keep it, and aren't I nice? I love you though, right? So it's wow. All right. Oh boy, we're not gonna take it anymore. As far as one knows, to the best of one's knowledge, is late 14th century. Expression, God knows, is from 1400. To know too much, to be allowed to live, escape, etc. What the snake say at the tree? If you know, then you will be like God. right? You'll be allowed to live and escape. But in order to know, one has to let go. It's crazy, I know. Okay. It's from 1872, 15, 16, 17, 18, which is a 9. To know better, to have learned from experience, is from 1704, which is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1704. You know, as a parenthetical filler, is from 1712, 11, 1712, all vibrations of those and the nature of. But it has roots in 14th century. You know, as a euphemism for a thing or situation unmentionable, is from 1867. 22. You know who, for a person it is thought best not to name, but implying the hearer knows, is from 1840. And they like to do that too, right? That's a lot of manipulation too. They could try to say things like to implant a thought in someone's, mind, right? Oh, you know who we're talking about. You know. You know who. You know. So that can make us feel or think, right, negative thoughts about a person or a place or a thing that we didn't have before, because somebody can be coming from a jealous or envious perspective or just some kind of negative feeling twitch inside them. So on impulse, they, right, well, you know who, you know what they, I don't know, I can't say. They don't really say anything, but they make you think something, right? Tricks of the traders. Making fake lemonaders. Don't drink the water. As an expression of surprise, what do you know? Attested by 1914. Don't I know it? In the opposite sense, you need not tell me, is from 1874. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You never know. As a response to something unexpected, is attested from 1924, which is 16. So we got wedlock, Hammurabi Mazden, an old English wedlock, lacquerheads, pledge, giving, marriage vow, from wed, plus, minus lack, noun suffix, meaning actions or proceedings, practice, right, or ritual, attested in about a dozen Old English compounds. Fiotlac, warfare. So wedlock is warfare, slavery, right? They go hand in hand. Whether it's prostitution, being a wife, a slave, it's the same thing. Wedlock is warfare. So I'm not saying these things to be like, oh, da, da, da. I don't have a feeling about it. It just is what it is. I'm just getting into the etymology where it originated from. So we have a little more knowledge of where we all come from and the things that we hold on to as belief and value that are actually a little bit, right, they have a little bit more of a darker, or not darker, but again, emotional immaturity. It comes from a codependent, jealous, envious, right? 7 deadly sins. 2 masculine, 7 is 7. Positive, negative. Cain, Abel. We're still coming out of, right, the whole Cain and Abel story. So forgiveness, gratitude, right, being a little more fluid. Like Bruce Lee said, be like water. Time is fluid, right? Change the words in your mind. Instead of time is money, money is time. I don't have any of it, and I have no love. Okay, relax. Now just, are you able to say in your mind, time is fluid? And I have energy all the time. Right? I love myself. I love the world I live in, right? I love God. Aren't we so lucky to be able to like have we're living on this planet that grows like everything we need? With our bodies heal themselves when we get boo-boos. Like, are we not like a miracle and fucking amazing beings of miraculous structure and being? You know? instead of arguing about not understanding and understanding where somebody else is coming from, instead of all as above so below is, but right, it's like, right, we gotta allow more perceptions in, so we have more fluidity. Right? Again, it's gonna get narrow and then expand, right? Just like a birth canal. So there's gonna be constriction, and then there's gonna feel like freedom, feel like there's space to like be creative and move, right? So you gotta, right, lose the attitude and worry about, right, the child, inner child inside of you. Right? We're learning how to let go, right? Let mom have a little room too. We want mom to breathe. We want mom to be happy. And sister and wife and daughters and cousins and nieces and nephews and all the animals. We want everything to, right? It's like anyone that wants to cause harm, right? They obviously have issues going on, right? It's like uh we don't want to cause harm, but there's a simple, right, a natural process to things. And so when people want things or feel like they're going to lose things, they can grab onto others or other things due to the fear and anxiety that they're feeling, right, which makes them very dangerous actually, right? So that's very dangerous. Not right. So being a little more calm and using discernment so that one is in more harmony with oneself is really a better goal to, right, try to achieve than, right. So, and it's like, and we of course want to push ourselves and challenge ourselves and have passion and things, so it's like, right. So but in order to do that, right, we kind of let go, so we have a mind of our own to be able to, right, flow in and through, right, all the vibrations and colors of who we are. That's what we got to do. Okay, so let's see. But this is the only surviving example. Suffix altered by folk etymology through association with lock, meaning condition of being married, is recorded from early 13th century. See, that's like Viking, like great. Again, there's a video by Chris Cornell called "I Nearly Forgot My Broken Heart." And look it up on Vimeo. There's two separate videos for it. One's like a more like cosmology, right? Like spaceship flowing through like the different binary star system. That's the newer video. The older one, which they took off YouTube a long time ago, has what's his name? That actor, Eric Robertson. He's in that. I'm just looking up. Wow. Sex and spirituality. I was looking up sexual intercourse, the metaphysical meaning, since we were just reading about knowledge, and that's what it said. And right, they used again divine feminine, right, sexual Shakti energy. That's why does sex sell, right? Jezebel. Right, if one, same with Matrix, like we just saw the movie, right? If one can be deterred in another manner away from, right, because that our energy is so powerful together, right? Or the feeling of longing produces a lot of energy as well, right? So, but I'm going to do some videos, honestly, about, right, sacred union and sacred sex and intercourse and what it all means, right? Sacred energy exchange, which doesn't always mean physical bodies touching each other. No. And, again, in the mental space, there's stories in the Bible, right? When another man was lusting after another man's wife, right? That's seen. Energy goes where thought goes. right? Energy flows where thought goes. So there's, right, it's not the tumor. There's masses of energy all over the place, right? So in order to make it through, one has to clean up all that, right? It's like fat deposits everywhere. 1444, 11444. Yeah. So, right, these are again metaphors and like literal, like, right? There's a lot of attachments or like energy, right? Spiritual wife, spiritual children. How did life get created before Adam and Eve? Many things were here before humans, you know, but many, right? Masculine dominant minds think that they have better information, that their knowledge is so powerful. They think that they're basing it off of their so-called facts, which I respect that. However, there's a lot more to be learned and have awareness of, right, for all of us. So just having that willingness is really all me or anyone else is really asking, because you know your truth is going to be your truth due to your experiences, and mine's going to be mine, and we all kind of coexist together, and it's part of a collective, and then we have all these different collective energies from our etheric bodies, right? Like we all knew each other before we came here in physical form, right? The traveling of the stars and the elementals of who we all are, which carry consciousness. Right? Why do we feel like, what do you ever feel like you know certain things or something's familiar, or you watch something on TV or a cartoon or a movie and you're like, you feel like that's kind of like you, that's your part. It's like that's me. That's like, wait, that's so weird. Or you see toys or something that are like, you know, or you have a thought and then all of a sudden you see like something of that nature. It's like all of a sudden you see a commercial about it, or you just talked about some kind of food and now they just advertised the commercial on the radio or something. You're like, I just said that. Right? So yeah, getting into the psychology, right? This is spiritual psychological warfare, and I am here to be your spiritual psychological surgeon and help you get in there and get through it, and through the emotional body that carries the wounds of the child. So we do a lot of shadow work. We go into whatever comes up that's been buried or hidden, and we go at, right, a pace that is determined by the divine, and that's it. So if you're willing, I'm always willing, you know, as long as, right, it's the right match. Again, it's the right spiritual sucks. It's the right sacred energy exchange, right? Like right now, you being here, we're having, right, a spiritual energy exchange, a sacred energy exchange. So we're having intercourse, right? Intercourse means conversation, talking, even though you're not, right? I'm talking to myself presently pretty much, right? However, I'm aware others will, right? Whoever is meant to receive any part of this message, I can only, right, hope that you land upon here and something is meaningful to you, and that's it. That's all I can hope for, and I leave it at that, and I allow growth for all of our seeds to bloom, and that's it. I keep it moving. You know, I don't even watch my old videos. I don't even, it's like I don't even, because I don't like to hear myself talk. So, you know, I mean, occasionally I breeze through them, but, you know, it's, again, it's all in the water, right? The river keeps moving. So I jump on the stream, but then I get back in the river and I just let it flow. And I don't worry about what I left behind. I let it go. Right? Hard, difficult lessons to learn in life. You know, but so worthy once we're able to start working with life instead of thinking there's just a beginning and an end to it. Know what I'm saying? Know what I mean, jelly beans? So I thank you so much for coming to hang out with me. And please like, subscribe, and click the little belly bell so you can get notified when my crazy little metaphysical ass pops on here. And yo, happy new year. Happy present moments. Remember, being happy is a decision. And we're not going to always be happy. Sometimes we have to go through shitty feelings, right? Deal with shit. Deal with feeling uncomfortable, right? Again, dealing with the cards we're dealt. Even though we feel, like he's like, his eyes are, I thought I felt comfortable, but now I don't know, but I'm still trying to hold it together. Right? So it's like we just allow, right? Just allow. Because there's a lot of fear going on right now. And again, just send love, because a lot of people that have done shit that's shitty is why, because they were not feeling good about themselves, right? They needed, or did, right? So, and that, I can relate with that too. Not feeling, again, every time before I come on here, I'm not comfortable. Anytime before anybody asks me to do anything, I'm like, I don't know. What is it? What's going, what is it? Like I need to understand or have a little awareness of something before I just, but on the opposite flip side of that, I'm also like, I've grown up, I'm super impulsive. I'm just like, okay, let's go right now. Like, so not much. It's like right in the moment, in the now, but I can be very hesitant and feel very uncomfortable. And, I feel like everybody's after me, or they're just going to take from me, or, right, have that just like, in my stomach, right? Not being able to be comfortable around other people. And again, a lot of that is due to the nature of most people, right? That has that Munchausen syndrome that I've grown up with. And, a lot of people that say they love you are like, oh, how you doing? But they want to keep us sick. It's child abuse. It's abuse. Literally, though, right? So, and it doesn't make them necessarily bad. Again, none of us all came with, the perfect manual, how to be a friend, how to be in relationships, how to raise children, how to do anything, right? We've all just been doing the best we can with the information and knowledge and what have you that we've had. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. And we're going into year 2022. So cool. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. And to give ourselves a fucking break and remember to breathe, right? Nice and slow, and play with your breath. Breathe in slow through your nose. And when you breathe out even longer than you breathed in. Once you feel like you can't breathe out anymore, breathe out a whole nother layer, a whole nother depth. Push it out. Your chest may feel a little tight, may give you a little anxiety, right? Do it a few times. Keep doing it, right? Breathing is our first duality, right? Black and white, negative and positive, right? We breathe out pretty much poison. We're breathing out carbon, right? Dioxide, and breathe in oxygen. So we have symbiotic relationship with Mother Earth. But if, right, we keep harming what gives us life and sustains our life, well, she's just going to shake us all off like a dog with fleas. If you think all paths are exactly the same, maybe the totally reinvented always alternate discussions. Meow, meow, meow. Let's see, do we have anything else Spirit wants to address before we depart? I don't think so. I think we're think we're all set here. Oh, the only other thing, yeah, I got Thomas pulled up here, right? Thomas comes from the Hebrew word ta'om, meaning twin. And we just had the full moon in Gemini, right? And all that. It came into English. We were just talking about, again, the Uranus, the uterine lining, which is the twin of Jesus, the baby that's born within, right? Separated at birth. So where St. Thomas was one of the 12 apostles of Jesus, that came into the English via the New Testament of the Bible, where St. Thomas was one of the 12 apostles of Jesus. Sorry, I skipped a line. Origin, the Hebrew word ta'om, led to the Aramaic name Ta'oma, like Tacoma, Ta'oma. This name was rendered in New Testament Greek as Thomas. Why does Thomas have an H? Like Sarah without the H and with the H. Written in French and English, since English beats down other languages, down alleys to steal their... What? Thomas is a name that comes from Aramaic Te'oma, meaning twin. It's the same word in Hebrew, Tvam, TVM. You see no TH there. However, the way it is written in French, and therefore in English, since English beats down other languages, down alleys, to steal their words, comes from Greek. I can't believe it says that. That's hysterical. What does Thomas mean in Arabic? Twin, master of airbending. Aren't you glad you came? Aren't you glad you waited till the end? Master airbender, right? The virus is airborne. The magician. Ay. Alright, so, well, I'm going to come back on and we'll do another video on Thomas and twins and maybe some Gemini and twin flames, because, right, this is all part of a lot of that shit. And I got my Gnostic, my knowledgeable Gnostic Gospels right here. I got a whole bunch of these, but this is out. So, yo, in like 3 decks today, I pulled Judgment came out. I mean, many things came out, but Judgment keeps coming out. I'm just going to pull 1 card out of the Wisdom deck before we depart. Nope. We got 2 from Spirit. What we got? Oh, boy, that's funny. Forbidden, right? First sin. What's forbidden? Oh, and denial. So, right, yeah, going through, right, denial, the delta, right, allowing, don't have denial about what we got to go through, because that's alcoholic behavior, okay? Now we got number 14, and the first step is admitting we're powerless, and there's a power greater than ourselves, and that's it. And that word alcohol, just like what's the forbidden fruit? The word apple, that just meant fruit back in the day. Right? So what's forbidden? Anything when we're like, you know, you can go in anything, just don't touch that door. Any other door, just not that door. Any other tree, just not that tree. Of course you're going to want to touch the one thing, right, that's forbidden. Why can't I touch that? Why am I allowed to touch anything else except that? Why? Why? Right? The why. The masculine, the intellect, the why, right? We want to know why. Why? We want to have knowledge. Why? Right? So now we can't be in denial of whatever door forbidden, right? Or whatever we, like, maybe, this is where we're clearing out, again, detoxing the mental faculties and the emotional body, the Adam and Eve. That's been in the garden doing all the forbidden, right? Eating all the forbidden fruit. Taking other people's knowledge, identities, right? And then pretending or acting, right, in another way. Wearing a mask. No, that's not what it is. Being in denial, right? Between the Euphrates and the Tigris is denial. Oh boy, and we got High Priestess of Fire at the bottom of the deck. So, number 5. Let's read that. And we got Playful underneath that. 44. Remember to be playful. And Deceit underneath that. Neferet. Right, so again, the Munchausen syndrome thing, or the magician, lots of appearances of, right, kind, loving, maybe sweet talking, etc. But have discernment, right? But we're using, right, we're giving love and using tough love, and also, right, having a tolerance and being nurturing. But at the same time, we ain't taking no shit, like Twisted Sister was just on before, right? We're not gonna take it. So we're creating safe boundaries so that we have the time and space we need to process to actually care for ourselves. Because when we keep taking and making deals and bets and, oh, we're going to come in da-da-da and all this other, or assuming or wanting, wishing and wanting, and all those things are great. However, at the end, this is where it leaves you. And there ain't no denying that. Right? Everything that looks easy and what have you, or right now people are so far, right? It's going to take some time to go through all that shit. And you ain't got nothing but time, babies. So allow yourself time and patience to go through what you need to go through to process things so you can create space, right? By using the tools that you already have within you, right? The castle of God or the Women's Temple is built within, right? The kingdom of God is within. So we can congregate and get together as people and what have you, right? Like, right? And what have you, like attracts like, and all these other, right? Like, however, do we need to? Do we have to? Do we have to impress each other? Or do we have to get to learn how to have faith and trust ourselves and remember that we're the ones that we've been looking for all along? Just takes time to dig ourselves out of that box. I watched the other day, everything ends up in a box, or everything comes in a box, everything ends up in a box. Another interesting, what the hell was I watching? I don't remember. Where are you? Oh. No. No, I thought I had it right here, but is this it? Oh, I do. I thought I had it here. A little let there be light, so I can read. I'm gonna read the High Priestess of Fire because I'm not sure. That's at the bottom of the deck, so it's guiding me to read that one. And then I'm gonna say I bid you adieu. And again, I so appreciate and thank you for hanging out and spending your time and energy here, and just keep swimming and planting seeds of love and letting go, right? Let go, let love, and be clear, right? My child, you have chosen the symbol of the vampire, High Priestess of Fire. Cool. The goddess of creativity and passion. Whenever she arrives, she reminds you of your ability to create your own reality and to choose how you channel your energy. If you are restless, call upon the High Priestess of Fire for inspiration and joy, and she will release you from the trap of boredom. Fire brings warmth and light, but it also burns when it is allowed to get out of control. Spend your energy creatively, not impulsively. See, that's what we're talking about. and guard yourself against burning out. Yeah, I feel a lot better. I have to say, just in the last like week, because unfortunately, it's like my energy's been, I've been able to get some of my own energy back, not having someone else, right, relying on, yeah, like it's kind of like, right, carrying a child around all the time. We love our babies, but it can be tiring always having something that needs to be, right, fed, change, right, always care for. And, right, especially when we do have the ability to, right, change a thought, move a direction, right? We have a choice to be happy and put into ourselves that energy rather than waiting for somebody else to come, all right, like, oh, right. Again, Munchausen syndrome. Either somebody acting like they're sick or other people having, right, that there's all this stuff going around. It's like, okay, that's just a very attention seeking. That's archon, draconian behavior, archon. And one will act like they don't need attention. The other will appear that they got it all together. Another, takes up all your energy and time because they act like they need it so much because they can't do something on their own. So there's a whole bunch of them that come into play with one another too. Don't forget, right? Use your fire wisely and let your light shine brightly. I knew that was good. Yeah, they were guiding me to read that. So, right, it's like, yeah. So, burning up anything that no longer serves us. Again, letting go and using that spark to create or rest. If you're feeling uneasy, right, you need to burn off get rid of some stuff that might be, right, again, that fat. Cutting the fat. And when our emotional body isn't in balance, it inflates like balloons, right? Like what we have inflation right now, right? The heart of the ocean could be either super happy heaven or sink all the way down to the bottom of the ocean and feel like this, right? Ugh. Right? Duality. So we can all feel real high and then we can feel real low. Right? Be real excited about life and stuff we're doing and super passionate and then real scared and like, what did I do? And right. Acted like they had a big, right, house or stack of gold and, right, well, what's gold? Right, our word has to be golden. The gold comes from within. Again, the temple is built within. The kingdom of God is within. So who's really the ones, right, using ritual and money and war and children and, right, brothers and sisters and wives and husbands as pawns and etc. And so, just, taking a look and remaining neutral, but not avoiding looking at it. Okay, don't be afraid to look at something that is, right, like, you don't want to look. Like, no, I'm not gonna look, because then you're allowing yourself to be consumed by fear instead of just allowing, right, again, be playful, allowing more perceptions to come in, because you already thought the worst thing. If you're stuck in a negative thought and a feeling about it, you already thought the worst of it. And I mean, for the most part, I mean, it could get a little, right, it can go a little more deeper and darker. However, then there's always how many more branches of positivity and other colors and other, right, vibrational forms, other usages of the term, of whatever word it is or whatever thing, person, place, or thing that is, right, upsetting, giving you causing an upset, right? Yesterday was football day. What was the upset last night? Joe was telling me on the phone. What did the Colts? It was like the Colts and who the Colts play. Large spreads yesterday in the football world. So anyhow, shall we read Deceit too? 38. Let's see. Let's read the Deceit. What's going on with the Deceit for collective here, because we all being deceived in one way or another. That Munchausen syndrome. So what do we need to know about deceit here? When you choose the symbol of deceit, be very careful about your motives in making your choices. So again, this is the first card we pulled, right? So it's like you're on the board. You gotta go, right? You're gonna pick white or red or left or right. Do you have blue pill, red pill, right? So be wary, because you don't want to feel like this, because you were impulsive and made a decision to, right? In the house of night, there is one who has betrayed herself, and all those who looked up to her. Uh-oh. I am also warning you that someone may be stabbing you in the back. So, if you can relate, 14014. Yeah. Regardless of the circumstances of your question, I warn you about deceit. There will be a price to pay for betrayal in all forms. Only you know how much it will cost. That said, although the energy of betrayal can be seductive, I am stronger and you are forewarned. So, hold on. We can't just leave that at that. All right, Spirit. What about this deceit? Do we need a... Oh boy. That death will come. Mortal, find it. Fragile. So whatever, again, don't, if you've done deceit, yo, go through your shit. Clear that shit out. Like we just read, right? Allow that shit to burn. Like go through, right, your foxtails, right? Your denial, the things you lie to yourself about inside. Be more playful so that you can allow, right? Don't deceive yourself either. I mean, you could be the one deceiving self. But yeah, I mean, there's a burnt by the sun, ambition, extension, reach. So, right, there's definitely an intellect, right? Someone trying to use their intellect and knowledge upon us to deceive us, but that death will come. There's an end to that. Spirit ain't letting that shit happen no more. Oh, brother. The next card, knowledge. And we just read about that. Study, learning, education. Number 3. So someone's been, right, studying us. They've been, right, they spy upon our page, or they look up in our life. They've been, right, or they knew who we were before we even knew who we were. So again, right, like I was saying before, there's a whole different, right, like they operate kind of like, right, velociraptors, right, like in teams and covens, right, Covidian covens, covenants. Immortal. The consuming family. Pressure of peers. So we were just saying, lots of ritual stuff going on, right? Religion, etc. This is what you're supposed to do. This is the knowledge. These are the facts, right? Munchausen syndrome, sister. There we go too, right? So those making things look like you're supposed to take something, because otherwise you're going to be sick. You better take this because they have, right, this knowledge. So careful of the deceit that's being put out. Listen to advice. Think clearly. To reason. Not logic. Allow. See, she has 2 skulls here. The positive and the negative. Right? So listen to what's coming in and then have discernment. Take a look at all of it and allow what needs to, right? And if you have any, like, concerns about people that are in your life right now, ask for some clarity, or ask for some time and space to be, with spirit. Like, ask for time and space to be provided, so, and you can get the information that you do need. Right? You have to be the programmer. and be a good handler of self. Right? And individuality rocks. 47, 11, and obedience to self. Don't go against, right? Again, I said before, right? Someone's gone against their own green. So that's prostitution, 14444, right? And then the next one's up down, so I'm not going to read it, but right. So be you, right? Treat others how you would like to be treated. Be you, because that's the best thing you can do. But sometimes that's the scariest thing we can do too, right? It's quite contradictory. So again, thanks so much for hanging out. I hope that that did something for you. I hope that you got some messages there and are able to go through some portals of your own and let go of some shit. And I'll see you next time. One love, y'all.